When it comes to your motivation, what inspires you? What gets you out of bed in the morning, putting on your big boy or your big girl pants and heading off to work? Whatever keeps you busy during the day. When I say work, maybe that's paid work, maybe it's volunteerism, maybe it's just helping people because you're a nice person. What motivates you to do what you do with the time that God has given you? Now, there's a good question. But hey, I don't take any credit for it. That's the question that Tom O'Neill posed to me by text earlier today. Tom from cv.co.nz. Kia ora, good morning. Thanks for your time today.
Morning, my dear friends. Lovely to be on the show again. Thank you.
It is one of those questions you might get asked at an interview. So what is it that you want about, why are you applying for this job? What motivates you? But stepping back from the interview, it's a question we can ask of ourselves vocationally. What ticks our boxes? What lights our candle? What floats our boat, mixing metaphors? What would inspire us to commit to a certain career? It's going to be different for each person, perhaps.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, and when you're applying for a role, you really can be passionate about four things, really, at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing is money. Now, just a little word to the wise here, even though if that is your main driver, don't let the employer know that. So we'll just park that one.
Yep.
But really, the other three things, the job itself, firstly, is this job. We can be passionate potentially about the job itself.
Yeah.
And we really enjoy it. So let's say it's a project manager. You enjoy that closing of the circle. You enjoy coordinating things. You enjoy doing that stuff.
Yep.
Maybe it's customer services. You love people. You love interacting with individuals. You enjoy the challenge of, crabby people, whatever it is. And that may be something that really motivates you.
Yeah.
Or it could be the company.
Okay.
Yeah, some companies are obviously fantastic, and you hear about the Google, for example, or Apple, and they've all got free lunches and pinball machines and really great working environments, these sort of things.
Yeah.
But it could be just a company you respect.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a manufacturing company, but they make a product that really helps people, and really makes a major difference in people's lives.
Yeah.
So the company, the values, the vibe, the manager that you report to, they may all be things that you can really get behind.
Mm-hmm.
And then thirdly or fourthly, the industry. You may be okay, yeah, the job's okay, the company's, organization's good, but the industry is the thing I'm passionate about.
Okay.
And again, a lot of that time it'll be in things like not-for-profits where someone's super passionate about the lost. And so they work for Mission Without Borders, for example,
Yep.
or an organisation that has a really strong impact, reaching out to people around New Zealand, around the world.
Mm-hmm.
So really, it's just trying to think for those roles you're going for. Beside money, is it the job and or the organisation and or the industry?
Now, let's circle back to money briefly, if we can, because, that is something to establish. If you're in a financial situation where you need a certain amount of income in order to pay the bills and feed the family, then important to realise, okay, is this a paid position that I'm doing? So money isn't irrelevant. You need to find out whether you're volunteering or becoming an intern to get other people's coffees, or is this something which does involve a level of remuneration? As you say, though, the other ones on the list are perhaps more important. And I suppose depending on what is top of the list for you, because we've got these four things, all four of them are probably important to everybody, but we'd have one of the four higher or lower on the list, depending on where that sits, depending on how, I don't know, vocationally mobile you are. I suppose if you love the industry, then you're not necessarily loyal to the company. This may be a stepping stone to another position in the industry, depending on how you're wired, I suppose.
Oh, look, absolutely. And things will come and go. There'll be times where you get the job, you really love the job's great. And then over time, you've outgrown the role.
Yep.
So that's a sign that, hey, look, it's been great. Now it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's time to look at a new opportunity, maybe up the ladder, maybe into something new, whatever it is,
Yep.
new challenge, etc. But really just trying to think about these certain things. Honestly, if the only thing you can get passionate about and the next job you're going for is the money,
Yeah.
don't apply. Simple
Okay.
as that.
Wow. Yeah, no, totally. I mean, that's an easy position to take from the point of view of currently having a job and having income. But yeah, I know, I get your point, because otherwise it's just a short-term strategy. This is what we do with most of our waking hours. It may as well be something that we enjoy. When it comes to a dream job, though, I mean, a lot of people go, oh, gosh, this is my dream job. Sometimes the way we think things are going to be, it doesn't turn out to be the reality of it. But do you think there's any such thing as a dream job, or is there just seasons, like you were saying?
Yeah, no, great question. I mean, a mate of mine used to work for used to be a professional goalkeeper,
Okay.
right? Worked for a soccer team and got paid.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And one day I was at church and he was there and he looked really down. I said, "What's up, mate?" He goes, "Oh man, I've just been dropped to second keeper." And I'm
Oh,
like, "Oh mate, that's so rude." And he said, "My dream job turned into my dream slog."
wow.
And I thought, wow, even the coolest job in the world has days that are just, really bad.
And if
You
anyone
know?
should have goals, it would be that guy, right? In terms,
Oh,
sorry, pun
absolutely.
intended.
Haha, see what you did
I
there.
mean,
Yeah,
one
yeah,
of the
yeah.
things, I don't know, from my point of view, and perhaps this leads into some of the others, is we can imagine a dream scenario, or this would be the dream job, and we've got this idea in our head of what that would be like. But I think for most people would agree, the key factor is, who are we working with? The people that we work alongside, the people who are part of our team, as you say, the organizational culture. Not so much about the pinball machines as whether or not you're thriving and getting on with your co-workers, if you're feeling respected. That's not always something that you can tell from the brochure or the website, though. That's
Oh,
kind of something that you find out in the process of working
yeah.
somewhere.
Absolutely. I mean, no manager during the interview process is going to say, "Look, I'm a real micromanager. I'm a horrible person, and everyone here will hate you." They're all going to say, "Look, we're a great organisation. We care about our people." Blah
Yeah.
blah blah. And then you find out, gee whiz, it's not the case.
Hmm.
At that stage, you've got a couple of choices. Option one is now start sending the CV out.
Hmm.
Hey, that's just how it is. Option two is try and change the culture.
Yes.
Try and be that light on a hill. And try and be that person that creates that warmth and that engagement. Again, that's obviously a lot much more longer term strategy
Yeah.
and hard work.
No, but hey,
But
a great idea in that regard. Is there something that we can do, though, to find out perhaps a little bit about an organisation's values? Again, not necessarily just their motivational posters that are up in the lunchroom, but what sort of organisation is? What would your advice be in that regard, Tom?
Yeah, great. So there's a website called Glassdoor,
Hmm.
Glassdoor, and that basically is a site where people talk about their experiences working for organisations. So
Okay.
a place like that's actually quite cool because you can sort of get some insight. Now, bear in mind, people that tend to comment. Normally, people that have got an axe to grind
Disgruntled
necessarily, or
ex-employees. Yeah, exactly.
so you need to take it with a grain of salt,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's just trying to get a bit of a lead. In the interview, you want to be doing things like asking, well, what are your values as an organization?
Hmm.
What's your mission? What type of team culture do you have as a manager? What's your leadership style?
Yeah.
These are legitimate questions we're allowed to ask.
And hey, probably a
And when
better
we
question than
do that,
leading just with the money question in that regard.
oh yeah, how much? Yeah.
Hey, Tom, the Glassdoor website, I mean, a good one to go to, as you say, grain of salt, but the best website, cv.co.nz. Thank you so much for your wisdom, advice, and your motivation, of course. Thanks so much for joining us on the program today.
Always a pleasure, mate. God bless. Have a great weekend.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.